machine is more incredible than my wettest dreams.
What did you just say?
This machine is more incredible than my wildest dreams.
That's not what you said.
A lot has already been said about Ninja Theory's underappreciated Enslaved Odyssey to the West game that was released in 2010. From the story, its characters and voice acting, to it being ahead of its time as it came out years before Naughty Dog's The Last of Us and Guerrilla Games' Horizon Zero Dawn. But you know what hasn't really been talked about? Surprise! It's also a mech game. That's right, this game that is a platformer inspired by the classic Chinese story of Journey to the West is also a mech game. Not in the same way that MechWarrior, Titanfall, Armored Core, or Gundam are, of course. Instead of you piloting a mech, you are instead running away from the mechs that are hunting you down. In this game, you play as a character named Monkey, obviously based on the Monkey King Wukong from Journey to the West. Or if you don't know that, then all you need to know is that this is essentially Son Goku from Dragon Ball. Monkey possesses a lot of similar traits as Wukong, from being abnormally strong for a human, having a powerful staff used for melee combat, and can also be used for limited range attacks, to even having a cloud that he can ride on.
What's that?
It's a cloud.
Doesn't look like a cloud. Well, maybe a little like a cloud.
Monkey also has spiky hair and grew up in the wild like Son Goku, although he's not as dumb. In this game, he's voiced by Smeagol. Wait, no, I mean Caesar. Renoir? It's Andy Serkis, who does an amazing job. Anyway, at the start of the game, Monkey wakes up trapped inside a prison pod being transported on a slaver ship to a place known as Pyramid. Across from him is another prisoner who manages to escape. Trip is the other lead character in the game, and for simplicity's sake, let's just say that she's the Bulma from Dragon Ball of this world, minus the part where she accidentally shoots Goku. Instead, after she manages to escape from the slaver ship, she enslaves Monkey with a headband that causes him pain if he refuses to do what he says, and will even kill him. We even see what the death process is like in the first level, when Monkey forces one of the crew from the slaver ship to help him.
Where's my stuff?
What?
The stuff. Where's my gear? The stuff you took away from me.
I can't talk to you, it's against the rules. Item storage in the lower hall.
Slave 6B58 is assisting escaping prisoner. Level 1 infraction. Command. Terminate Slave 6B58.
Please!
With this mechanic, the game has a little more in common with the anime Inuyasha. Before I forget, Trip is voiced by Lindsay Shaw, who was from Nickelodeon's Ned's Declassified, as well as a few other shows. She actually does an amazing job voicing Trip, and really brings the character to life. The reason Trip enslaves Monkey is because she needs him to help her get back to her home. This takes up about half of the game's story, and as we progress, we also see what's left of the world. The details are a little vague as to what happened. All we know is that there was a war some 200 years ago, and now the world has mechs wandering around, either killing or enslaving the few people that are left. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. What exactly is a mech? If you've been following this channel for a while, or are a Gundam or mech fan, then you're probably most familiar with the same definition of what a mech is as I am, which is a large robot that is piloted by a person. But even then, the definition is not so clear and simple. For example, G Gundam has mobile fighters, not mobile suits, and they're pretty much super robots. But then again, in terms of how they're controlled and piloted, they're also similar to the mechs from Pacific Rim. In the case of Enslaved Odyssey to the West, much of the enemies seem to be self-automated robots. Either way, the game calls them mechs, so in this world, they're mechs. Also, later on, there does appear to be some larger mechs that are controlled by people. True, the robots have more in common with Terminators from Skynet. But Gundam Wing also has mobile dolls that are not controlled by humans. So for me, it's close enough. Moving on. From time to time, I've also wondered what it would be like going up against a mech on foot. Or running away from one on foot. The combat in this game has more in common with the hack and slash than it does to a shooting mech game, I admit, and may not appeal to everyone from this niche. There's the standard light attack, one heavy attack, a spinning move to push enemies back to give you some breathing room, and one powerful rage attack that unlocks once you build up enough energy. You can also block some enemy attacks with the shield. Lastly, your staff also comes with some limited range capabilities with the stun attack, and a more standard explosive attack. These both run on ammo, and you will never have enough to shoot your way through an entire level, since ammo is limited. As for the enemies, most of the grunts sort of feel the same, which might be my only real complaint about the game. You have your standard grunts, a heavier grunt that punches harder, another that stuns you, and then later on some of these enemies have shields that you either have to disable or get around. There are also shooting mechs and stationary turrets that can be a real problem if you're ever caught out in the open. At the same time, I felt that the game was paced in a way that made it so that this was never really a problem. The bosses, on the other hand, felt more unique and can either take some time to figure out or can be beaten fairly quickly depending on the player. Trip, for her part, as I said earlier, is like Bulma from Dragon Ball. She's not a fighter. Instead, she helps you through unlocking doors and scanning enemies for weaknesses. She also comes in handy for some of the puzzles you'll have to solve throughout the game. Now, story-wise, this is one of my favorite character-driven stories that I've ever played. The fact that Monkey and Trip are the only two characters that we get to spend time with for most of the game allows for some great character development. There is a third character that gets introduced later on, who is also great in his own way, but he's more of a comic relief, which isn't a bad thing, especially for later on when the story gets a little more serious. And he helps to add a little more color.
All right. It's just I always sort of fancied my chances myself with Trip, you know. But if there's something already between you, I'd respect that. I'm not the kind of guy to go muscling in.
Easy. She can hear every word we say. But if you want to take your chances, go ahead.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you're looking for some good sci-fi fun with good characters set in a post-apocalyptic world ruled by mechs, Enslaved, Odyssey to the West might be worth picking up. Looking at the game now, it actually feels like playing a piece of gaming history because, as stated earlier, it came out years before The Last of Us, which follows a similar plot. There are even some similar visuals that the two share. And then there are the comparisons to Horizon Zero Dawn, which is another game I really enjoyed playing. It's like finding a common ancestor of two different species of games in the fossil record. It is a shame we never got a sequel, but to be honest, I'm actually content with the open-ended ending we got. It's not great by any means, but still works enough for me. And not to mention, who knows if we still would have gotten Hellblade if we did get a sequel, which is also another game I really enjoyed playing. It may not be a military-style mech game that most fans of the genre are used to. If you want that, then I guess there's always Left Alive. Good luck to you though. Otherwise, I think this is a classic. I may have reached out for this one in terms of what the definition for a mech is, but I'm not sorry. Mech games with good stories on this level are extremely rare, and I love me a good story with some great characters. That's all I got. Take care, and see you later.